Hello everybody, welcome to another movie review. Today we are reviewing the Tuskegee Airmen from 1995, Two Thumbs Up, with Lawrence Fishburne, the Tuskegee Airmen, based on a true story of the 332nd Fighter Squadron. Gave this movie a rating of 9 and saw it in 2020. The Tuskegee Airmen is the black version of Memphis Belle, and both films are similar in many ways. Of course, it had to be made because of the historical importance. During World War II, there existed a U.S. fighter squadron of black pilots trained at Tuskegee, Alabama, that fought overseas and was one of the most decorated groups in military history despite the overwhelming racism at the time. The adversity that these men went through is nothing short of inspiring. What I don't like about the Tuskegee Airmen is the high amount of profanity, because it should be shown in schools. Cut that down more and the movie will feel right for the general audience. Meanwhile, I love Lawrence Fishburne, and he is fantastic in the lead role of Hannibal Lee. It's interesting to see him and Mekhi Phifer in the same film because both played Othello in separate films. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Courtney B. Vance, among others, do a good job and make a big impact. Easily the best performance of the show goes to Andre Braugher as Colonel Benjamin O. Davis Jr., one of the most well-known black American military officers. If Andre looks familiar, it's because he played Fearless in Glory. All in all, the individuals of the famed Tuskegee Airmen overcame long odds to be the first black combat aviators in military history, and I salute them. Taking place during World War II, the Tuskegee Airmen is Top Gun meets Glory and tells a story that people don't usually read in history books during high school. Among the best of the black race had to offer, the famed Tuskegee Airmen were the first military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. The amount of racism and hurdles they had to endure is absolutely nothing compared to what today's minorities go through, which is mostly fake. Their monumental achievement is staggering and still reverberates today. From 1941 to 1946, flying through a total of 1,578 combat missions, 992 pilots were trained in Tuskegee, Alabama, with 355 of them being deployed overseas, and 84 lost their lives. The movie may not be entirely accurate in the depiction of the actual events, but does well enough to give a general idea. Notwithstanding that, it's a well-done picture that goes from training to dry runs to actual combat situations, while highlighting what the blacks had to go through to get their wings and finally respect. I love the cast, and it's Andre Braugher who gives the strongest performance as Colonel Benjamin O. Davis Jr. His father was famous for being the first black general in the United States Army. Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr., Courtney B. Vance, and Christopher McDonald are outstanding. I have forgotten the first two were father and son in Boys in the Hood. Another nice thing about the film is the variety of planes. There are many different types used, such as North American T-6 Texans and North American P-51 Mustangs. And sometimes I am reminded a lot of the other great film called Memphis Belle, so the comparisons are difficult to avoid. Even John Lithgow is in both pictures, and he is super mean in one and super nice in the other. All in all, Glory and the Tuskegee Airmen are the two best films about blacks going on in war in different capacities for the first time. Thank you so much for watching this movie. Like I said, it's a real treat, especially if you're researching into black history and aviation. It's a really good movie, and I really liked it. And like I said, if it was completely appropriate, it's definitely would have been appropriate for showing to students for the historical aspects. Thank you so much for watching, And please tune in for another movie review. Bye-bye.